What we once thought was inevitable is all of a sudden obsolete. Where did that bring you? Back to me. Okay, there is a number of things that we can dive into when it comes to the Vancouver Canucks and their general manager search. I dragged on before making this video because I was like, you know what? Until the actual announcement gets made, maybe it's not worth it to make a commentary diving into all the rumors and whatever, because there's a lot that's just come out over the past 12 hours or so. But now it's almost 4 p.m. The guy hasn't been hired yet. We're still sitting here, we're waiting. Now the playoff thread has been posted on our Canucks. So let's just dive into what we know at this moment. Turns out Evan Gould, the guy that the Vancouver Canucks were probably hiring as their GM earlier, might not be in the mix anymore. So let's go out there and read. Just go in chronological order because I think the Our Canucks subreddit pretty much sums up everything we need. Here is what Cam Robinson went out there and posted on Twitter. Despite speculation that Ryan Johnson could interview in Nashville if Vancouver goes with Gould, league sources indicate the Predators already have their next GM lined up. He is currently an assistant GM with a playoff team. This would suggest that either Ryan Johnson pulls out a last-minute push to convince ownership he should be the next Canucks GM, or he is likely to be let go with no other GM prospects. It's been reported that if it is Gould going to Vancouver, then it's basically impossible that Gould and Ryan Johnson would work together in Vancouver. Gould would likely come in and replace Castonguay, Granato, Johnson, and Harvey and rebuild the entire organization from the ground up. Keep that idea in mind. Sources say apparently Gould wanted to bring his own people, and that's not uncommon for brand new GM hires. It's not uncommon for coach hires. Rick Dhaliwal was on Halford and Bruff 2 weeks ago saying that, yeah, when Travis Green was hired, he brought in a bunch of guys from the teams that he was part of before. When Willie Desjardins was hired, he brought in some folks from the Medicine Hat Tigers. This happens when people get hired and they just decide to bring over people that they're familiar with. Now, this is what Elliot Friedman said on the Mike Futa show earlier this morning as well. He heard that Ryan Johnson will be named the Canucks President of Hockey Operations. So, the new guy in place of Jim Rutherford. Friedman then tweeted this out. This is a Blue Sky post, but it's a bot that just reposts everything Friedman posts on Twitter. This is from earlier in the afternoon. We'll see where this goes over the next day or so, but I'm hearing momentum is moving in Ryan Johnson's direction for Vancouver's head of hockey ops. Nothing is done until it's done, but that is the latest. Irfan Ghaffar then tweeted this out. Ryan Johnson has been offered the job to be the next head of hockey ops. I can't see a situation where he is going to turn that down. Rick Dhaliwal said this. My gut says Ryan Johnson has been offered a position, either director of hockey ops or a GM. A deal is not done. The Sedin twins will have a big say. He also does not get the sense that Evan Gould is still in the mix. Now, we do know that Ryan Johnson has been the main Abbotsford Canucks guy and a Vancouver Canucks assistant GM for a while. The Sedin twins, they've been in and around the Abbotsford bubble, helping these younger guys develop, and that means they are in close proximity with Ryan Johnson on day-to-day operations. If the Sedins are having a say in which name gets hired, then I would probably say they lean Ryan Johnson. That's just my speculation, though. It would be a pretty reasonable assumption, right? Now, this is what Farhan Lalji tweeted out earlier in the afternoon as well, that started to get a lot more attention because it kind of contradicts a lot of the Gould stuff we had been hearing over the past few days. Lalji said this, Irfan Ghaffar reporting that Ryan Johnson will be the next head of hockey ops for Vancouver. I've heard that Evan Gould may have overplayed his hand over the past 48 hours. Certainly the fit between the Sedins and Ryan Johnson will be a much cleaner one than connecting the twins with someone they had never worked with before. Now, what does that mean? Gould overplayed his hand. Well, there are some comments in the replies here on Reddit, or he's paid his dues and he knows his worth. Being a GM for the Canucks has a non-trivial chance of being career something based on ownership alone. He may have demanded more responsibility and autonomy than the Canucks were willing to give him, and it's his prerogative to decline. There's really only two ways to overplay your hand as the preferred candidate at the end of a long, exhaustive hiring process: asking for too much money or asking for too much autonomy. There have been a few tweets now from non-Canuck League reporters basically making the same joke. Wyszynski was one, but one of the Boston guys had another. Basically, imagine dropping negotiations with your GM of choice because you didn't want to pay someone else to not work for you. So maybe Gold wanted Ryan Johnson, Foote, or the existing AGMs gone. Now, there are a number of people that have been very disappointed by this, especially on Twitter. If you look at the replies to this Farhan Lalji tweet, "Oh, the Canucks are fumbling this. Oh, the Canucks are letting the best guy go. Why? And they're a joke of a franchise." That's a very fair perspective, especially with everything we have been hearing about Evan Gold over the past few weeks. I, for one, especially, I was thinking, hey, this guy seems like a pretty smart dude. He's a lawyer, he's an analytic guy, he is an eye test guy, and he's a legal guy. There's a lot to like out of Evan Gold. But if it boils down to one of two things, money or autonomy, then I do kind of question just what the Canucks' capacity is for bringing this all together. Evan Gold was a pretty good candidate, but if he is not in the mix anymore, that certainly feels like a pretty big sting. Then you got the memes, Canucks ownership conducting a comprehensive search across the league for their next GM and president, only to go back hiring the ex-Canucks who are already in the organization. And we got Thanos over here. I got an Infinity War Steelbook coming in the mail later this week. That's going to be pretty fun, eh? But either way, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about all of this discourse surrounding Ryan Johnson, surrounding Evan Gold, and where the Canucks are going to go at this point forward? It seems like they're just going to go with the guy that was available the entire time. And while I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, there was a pretty big sentiment that Evan Gold was going to be that guy. And so, yeah, that just seems like all we've got right now. I wanted to wait a little bit and make this video after the news went down and got officially announced, but it doesn't seem like that's happening today. At least for now. So we'll just leave y'all with this. Seems like Gold may not be in the mix anymore. Seems like Ryan Johnson is going to be a top dog, either a head of hockey ops or a GM. I know ideally you would have wanted to see Ryan Johnson as the head of hockey ops and Evan Gold as the GM, have these two smart dudes working together. But if there just isn't that much teamwork to be had, if they're just too different, then I guess it may have been doomed from the very beginning. So, with that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.